We are a quarter of the way into the NBA season, so it's time to really investigate this Raptors roster. Which players have been performing above expectations that were set before the season, and which players have not met those expectations. Let's get into it. Welcome back, everybody, to Amateur Sports 2, the second channel in the Amateur Production Network, where we go through additional Toronto Raptors content just like this. On this channel, we can investigate some deeper topics and just have a bit more fun with the content. And we're going to be doing that with a tier list here, going through the Raptors and the players that have met expectations and not met expectations this season. So, if you enjoy what you see, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Amateur Sports 2 for more Raptors content just like this. Check out my main channel as well if you've not done so already. So, let's get into the list here. We have 6 categories. So, of course, the people who went well above expectations, the people who were above expectations, the people who met expectations are about as expected, of course, below, well below, and the final categories of players who have not played enough games. So, in no particular order here, Javon Freeman-Liberty, of course, has not played in the NBA as of yet for the Raptors, so not enough games there. OG is next up, and this one's kind of tough because I think very highly of OG. I think he's been fine this season, but we're always just hoping that the jump is going to come. But it kind of feels like this is what OG is, and he's just performing at that level. He's performing like a defensive player of the year candidate who can hit above 40% from three. That's outrageous, but yeah, that's coming this season. That's what I expected of OG. So great stuff from him. Otto Porter Jr. is an interesting one because this is a player, did we really think we'd get anything out of him this year? I feel like when he plays, I'm like, yeah, this is a solid role player. And it's a solid role player that sometimes I feel like we should use a bit more often. So I got to go above expectation. Remember, this is not talent list. This is a expectation versus reality. OG is light years better than Otto. But relative to expectations, I mean, Otto has been somewhat okay when he plays. So I don't mind that. Dennis Schroeder, he has been... I might have to put him well above. He's been, his shot selection sometimes annoying, but considering I was kind of down on Dennis Schroeder coming into the season, but he has been a wonderful playmaker. He's fallen off a little bit from a catch and shoot standpoint, but started so tremendously from that area. So efficiency has dropped in the last few games, but I think relative to my expectations, I think maybe for most people he'd be here. He's been way better than I thought he'd be, and is doing for $12.5 million is doing a phenomenal job in the point guard position. So I'll put him in the well above expectations tier because I can't make it it's not his fault. The roster is what it is and doesn't have enough shooting, and signing him didn't fix the shooting, but he's been well above. Pascal Siakam was the first one where it's been underwhelming. Part of that you can put on the coaching staff, the way he's been used this season, but ultimately Siakam has just not been as good as he can be. That's a bit unfortunate, but the three-point shooting has been horrific this season. Defensively, he's been great. I'd say above expectation there. Finishing at the rim has been pretty good, but impact on games, I mean, you can't really argue here. There's no way he's been up to par with expectations going into the season. He's been good. He's been trending in the right direction. We'll get there consistency-wise, but for now, it's not quite the all-star, all-NBA level that we should come to expect of Siakam at this point. Next up is Gary Trent Jr. This is one where you may not agree with what I say, but I was very high on Gary Trent coming into the season. I thought that the new coaching staff would fit really well towards Gary Trent's game. Again, the offense is tough in the half court with the lack of spacing in the team, but here's one of the guys that's supposed to be spacing the floor. The problem with Trent is he still needs to find ways to put pressure on the rim with the ball in his hands. He just doesn't really have that, so it's all long twos and threes. But the threes this season have been inconsistent. The open ones that he's missing are just backbreaking at times. I have to put him well below. We really need that scoring jump off the bench as a sixth man here, and he's just not providing that. For whatever reason, he doesn't perform off the bench, but there's nobody in the starting five he can take out, so we just need more out of Gary Trent Jr. Next up is Thad. Not enough games for him. Marquise Noel, same thing. Grady Dick, we have had enough games. He's played 15 games in the NBA, and I mean, I feel bad, but there's no other way to spin it here. we weren't expecting the most out of Grady Dick, but he's still been a bit underwhelming. It's his decision making on offense is good, but we knew that the shooting is just not there. He is not providing any offense to the team. Even the open threes are a struggle for him to knock down. That's unfortunate. The defense, we knew it was bad, but it is it's really something that needs to be worked on. So hopefully some time in the G League starts to turn the gears a little bit, but for sure we thought Grady Dick would have a role on the Raptors from day one. He did, but he lost that role and has found himself playing more so with the Raptors 905. So look, we're not counting out a guy this early in his career, but we got to see some improvement out of the player. Haven't seen the levels we were expecting for sure coming into the season. Next up is Scotty Barnes. So you could put him well above expectations, but I am a fan of Scotty Barnes. I very much respect this player, and I was very much anticipating him getting like a real jump this season, especially with a coach who's more inclined to use him offensively. I had very, very high hopes for Scotty Barnes. Very, very high hopes and expectations. He's still exceeding them. Now, I don't think I can go as far as to say he's been well above because I have such high expectations already. But it's a testament to my respect for the player. I think he's just that good that he's got another level he can hit this season. The big thing that maybe puts him well above expectations is if he provides that aggression that he shows in the fourth quarter for the first 3 quarters and it just dominates the whole game. That would be well above. But I'm not I'm not selling him short here. What a outstanding player he has been this season, even above those high expectations I had for him. Chris Boucher is, he's middle. I mean, I don't have the highest opinion of Chris Boucher, but I love it. The energy, the shooting. He comes in and that's the spark. That's the spark the Raptors need sometimes. I feel like in some respects he's been underutilized by Darko Rajakovic, but that is where he is. Jeff Dowden is here. Oops. He doesn't play for us anymore. Malachi Flynn. I'll give him his flowers here. He's been above expectations. Now, what does that look like for Flynn? It's not just trying to limit your impact on the game. Just control pace a bit, make some passes. It's been low volume, but he's knocking down his threes. Raptors probably need to improve in the backup point guard position. Definitely. But for now, this is who we have. And he's starting to convince me that perhaps he has an NBA career beyond just the end of this season. So, I have to say it's been above expectations. My expectations were very low, unfortunately, and he's been better. He's been better than I thought he'd be. Ron Harper, not enough games. Christian Koloko, the respiratory issue, which I get asked about all the time, still a problem. No timetable for return for Koloko, so not enough games. All right, Jalen McDaniels. My expectations weren't very high, but there was reason for optimism with McDaniels after his stint with the Sixers. He wasn't tremendous with the Hornets last season, especially spacing-wise, but when he went to the Sixers, a better team where he had more space for three, he started to knock down a good percentage of them. Has always been a tall, switchable defender. This season, his defense is not great. It's okay. He cannot play off. He cannot do anything on offense. I want to be fair to these guys, but he cannot hit a shot. He cannot put pressure on the rim. We don't need the world here. You're going to be wide open. You play for the Raptors. This team cannot shoot. You're going to be wide open. And now he's not even taking the wide open threes because they just haven't been going this season. I don't think I can spin this any other way other than well below. They're already low. I was wondering if he'd be in rotation. He is in rotation. I don't really agree. He should be above Boucher in that respect or Otto. Okay, I didn't have the highest of expectations, so I'll put him below expectations, but certainly I could put him even a tier lower. Jakob Poeltl, he's the Yak. He's consistent. Some matchups with a spacing big, he struggles. He gets put on the perimeter, gets a bit lost, but he's cleaned that up a lot in the last couple of weeks since that Celtics game and that Pacers game. He's been a lot better in those respects. On offense, he'll get his shots down low, good pick and roll partner. On defense, Protects the rim decently well. Very good rebounder. Yeah, he's the yak. He's doing his thing. Achua, I came into the season wanting to still believe that Achua, the development path was there, but I'm out. I'm out. I'm like pretty much completely out of this one. His sense for the game just is baffling at times, mistake prone, defensively. And you struggle to find the best role for him. Is it at the rim? Like you watch him defend the rim and he gets beat a bit too easily, and then you watch him on the perimeter and he gets beat a bit too easily. So I don't know if we found the best role for Achua, but I also don't know what that role is. I thought we'd get some scoring back. I did. I thought that we'd get some back this season. I thought we'd get some shooting back, but it's just not there. Has he been like that surprisingly bad though? No. We'll put him below expectations. Garrett Temple is a $3 million assistant coach. Why is he on the roster? I don't know. Hamidou Gay in the G League. Kevin Obanor in the G League. Jeff Dowden. He's not on the team anymore. So there you have it. Only one player has gone well above expectations for me. It's Dennis Schroeder. 3 players have been above expectations. One of the 3 doesn't play most games. One of which gets like 8 to 10 minutes a game. The other one is the player that the Raptors should build their future around. So at least we have that with Barnes. The season as a whole, I mean, we don't really know what the Raptors want to be or what they're going to be. But the big thing that I wanted to see out of the season is Scotty Barnes improving, looking like somebody who can lead the team going forward. We absolutely have that there. So there's the win. But yeah, some decisions need to be made about this team for the future. So let me know where you would put players on your list if you were to do something like this. Let me know what I got right. Let me know what I got wrong. So put that in the comments down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Check out my other channels. Perhaps is it this side? Perhaps a video you may also like from my main channel, which I will put here. My other channels, which will be over here. Yeah, great stuff. I'll see you soon for another video here on Amateur Sports 2.